Hi YouTube, today I'm going to be talking about 18 lessons that I've learned from each zodiac sign by age 18. Because I was reflecting, now that like a chapter of my life is done, I was reflecting on like what I've learned through people, and then I was like associating each thing with a zodiac sign, like that person was a Virgo, and through that Virgo energy, like I've understood something about myself. Now these lessons, some of them are good, some of them are bad, some of them sound a little narcissistic. Um, Either way, they're just lessons that I've learned, and they've all have value to me and to my new like outlooks and viewpoints on life in general. Um, I know there's only 12 zodiac signs and there's 18 points, but there's some signs that I've learned a little bit more of and more from because they're more in my life. This isn't a personal attack on anybody. If you don't like to hear what I'm saying, but yeah, it's just for fun. I just wanted to like have this video to look back on in a sense. That's kind of why I do all my talks, just like to see like what my mindset was like back then and stuff like that. Anyways, so the first sign, Aries. What I've learned from an Aries is no. The word no. That it's okay to say no. It's okay to put your needs first. Because every Aries that I've had in my life that I've wanted to hang out with or get close to, you'll notice there's this kind of like, I put myself first attitude about them. And like at first it used to bother me a lot. Like it's like, oh, we made plans. Like, why are you flaking? But it's like in reality, they just are doing their own life. They're doing their own thing. And like putting like being selfish isn't the same thing as like what's doing best. Being selfish is not the same as doing what's best for yourself in a sense. So like through my relationship with them and that frustration, I've learned to understand that like it's okay to say no, because they will sometimes just be like, if they don't want to do something, they're just going to be like, no. If you ask them for a favor, they're going to be like, honestly, like, no, I don't feel like doing that. And it's like whereas I'm someone that's like, oh, like I'll do it. Yeah, sure, like I'll do it even if I don't want to do it. And that can leave me feeling drained. Like they're preserving their energy by saying like no, by being honest in like what they want to do and what they don't want to do. So that's a very valuable lesson that I've learned through them, because it's like, no, like I honestly, like I have other stuff to do and I can't like do this right now, but when I'm free, or if I have time to do something for you, or if I feel like doing it, then I will, or if it's an urgent. But if it's just something that like you can do yourself or I don't have time to do, then it's not going to happen, because I have to do my stuff first. So that's what I've learned from Aries. Second, Taurus. And even though I'm a Taurus, I've had two influential Tauruses in my life. Three, four. Um, Either Taurus moons or Taurus suns. And something about Taurus is, this part of the Taurus I kind of lack sometimes, is to stop and smell the roses. I definitely feel like I'm someone who's a scatterbrain and all over the place, and I feel like I have to be doing something all the time, and it's kind of annoying. And sometimes I'll be exerting like so much energy, especially if I'm out with my friends or I'm over a friend's house and like music comes on, like I'll be dancing, or like I'll always be thinking about like, oh, let's go out, let's go do something when I'm with my Taurus friends, just because like Taurus and Taurus energy, it's like, ooh, I'm feeling good, like let's go do something. But they'll be like, no, like let's watch a movie, like let's order pizza, like let's relax, like let's do something. And like even though like that may be like lazy and like boring to some people, it's something that like I have to learn how to do, because I used to get very fed up with that, like, oh, like I don't want to sit here and do nothing. But then I'll realize it and be like, oh, I haven't sat down and just like relaxed in like a long time. And even like my relaxing has been kind of like, oh, my mind's still everywhere. Whereas the Taurus energy always reminds me to just like the best things in life are like kind of the small things, and that you should enjoy even the smallest moments with someone that you love and care about. And it doesn't always have to be like doing something like that exerts a lot of energy. You can just like have a simple enjoyable conversation with someone and sit down and relax and watch a movie, and like I don't know, like small things like going to the crystal shop, or like just like, I don't know, things like that with my Taurus friends I always did. And looking back on it, like even if I thought it was boring in the moment, I kind of appreciate that now, because it's like small, simple things. Like you don't need to do a lot with some Tauruses, and that's very kind of beautiful, because it's like you don't have to like entertain them or anything. Like they just want to kind of vibe with you, be there with you, and it's like taught me to kind of appreciate that. So to stop and smell the roses and just enjoy simple things. So Cancers, I feel like I've learned, Cancers have caused me like not a lot of pain, but they've showed me a lot about, I would say, love and friendships and relationships, because Cancers have been very wishy-washy in my life. And even though I've deeply cared about Cancers my entire life, not my entire life, but like high school, I would say, because like my best friends were Cancers. I had a really close friend that was a Cancer, but she like moved away, and she would like stop answering my phones, and I forgot, like I didn't take into consideration that like she had a new life now, or that people move on, or that they get moody if they don't feel like doing something. They're gonna retract and not answer you and stuff like that. And they've taught me that nobody belongs to you. And so they've taught me that nobody belongs to me, because the people that I've loved the most have been Cancers, and they've kind of all like left. You feel me? And like they've taught me that you can love someone and not have to smother them. You can love someone and not have to be with them or be around them. Like you can love someone from a distance. Like they can be living a totally separate, different life. You guys can go your own ways, and you can still love them, but you don't have to like be there and like be clingy and be like all of that stuff. Like you can just like love someone and let them be. You can let people go. You feel me? With the best intention. Okay. Geminis have just taught me to let shit go, because not everyone is going to agree with me. And that was something that I was like, I had a very stubborn nature about myself, where I was always like, I would find out new information, or I'd have my beliefs and my moralities and my ethics and all my opinions and stuff like that. And like my friend group in high school was Geminis. Like majority of them were Geminis. Like my best friends were Geminis. And that can be kind of like this, because I'm earth and they're air, and we would always get into verbal arguments, and sometimes I would sever relationships, because like they were trying to change my mind and I was trying to change their minds, and it's just like at the end it wasn't worth it. Like it really wasn't. I've lost a lot of people because of this quality to myself, and it's okay to be open to people's opinions. It's okay to be open to people's honesty. And if you find that when you say something or you believe in something and someone else doesn't agree with you, just like let it go. Like whatever, like it doesn't matter. You can't change people's minds is like what I think I got from that. And there's no need to over explain. There's no need to get angry. There's no need to sever relationships, or like just because someone doesn't believe what you do, that you can still hang out with them. You can still be their friend. Like you don't have to like not, you don't have to work up about something so simple, something so trivial. Leos. Now, my Leo one, this one might be a little bit more like I don't know, I feel very narcissistic when I say this, but it's kind of what I've just learned from them. So, specifically Leo females, and I'll tell you what, but Leos have taught me how to love myself, okay? Now, I'm a Virgo rising, okay? So I have a lot of self-conscious energy. I'm very self-critical. I'm very self-conscious. I'm just very hard on myself, especially like my appearance, the way I act, the way I talk, everything. It's just super like critical. And you won't understand that energy unless you are a Virgo, because it's like something that's so piercing to do to yourself. It's like almost like a form of like it's a self-destructive behavior. It's very, very painful to like constantly pick apart your flaws and stuff like that. And Leos have reminded me of like my beauty and how special I am, and like all of that, because the only women that I have ever intimidated or that I've made jealous has been a Leo. And that sounds kind of like fucked up, but Leos have always been very open and honest about it. It's not like a war or a battle. They've just always like have felt like kind of intimidated by me, and it's only been Leos that have verbalized this. So yeah, but like while I'm over here like hating myself and talking negatively about myself, there's like literal like women or other girls that are kind of like mad at me for how I look. So it's like I've taught myself like don't beat yourself up, like just love yourself, like appreciate yourself, like appreciate your beauty, appreciate your intelligence, appreciate your body, like all of that stuff. Just because like if you can make a Leo who's a super confident sign and super just they think that they're the shit, and that's a very beautiful quality to have, you feel me? So if you can make a sign like that feel jealous or feel intimidated, then you really need to start realizing your worth. And I know that kind of sounds narcissistic, but it was a very, very valuable lesson that I've just learned from Leo women. And they've always been very open and honest and kind about all of that stuff. So the next thing I've learned from Leo, so two things, has been the fact that it's okay to be mad. Leos have this certain standard to how people should treat them. And I find that very, very admirable because I don't really have boundaries in that sense. Like I can fight with someone and then make up the next day and like totally looked over the fact that they've wronged me or hurt my feelings and stuff like that. Just to like keep it cool and just go with the flow, whatever that means. But like when someone hurts a Leo or betrays a Leo, like they get mad. They can be a little bit dramatic with their emotions and stuff like that. But it's almost like it's almost respectable because it's like they know how awesome they are and they don't care if they hurt your feelings. They don't care if like a relationship ends. They don't care if they're seen to be dramatic. It's like that's how they feel the need to express themselves. Like they express their anger, they express their jealousy, they express their sadness, they do all of this stuff when the person that they love has betrayed them and stuff like that. And I find that very like admirable because it's almost like you're just like, this is how I fucking feel, like, you feel me? Whereas I'm someone that's like, oh, that's how, like, I feel this way, but I'm gonna act like it doesn't bother me. And it's like sometimes it's okay just to be mad at people if they step on your toes or if they hurt you, and it's okay to express that to them. That was repetitive, but whatever. Anyways, Virgo. So from Virgos, I've learned to question things and almost like detachment is essential for protection. So even though Virgos can seem quite detached, it's almost as if they're kind of protecting their energy because Virgos are very helpful, they're very useful, they're very kind, they're very loving, but like at the same time in a very practical way. But like practical help is very needed by like a lot of people. And if Virgos didn't have that kind of detachment, everybody would just use them. So it's okay to be detached from people and from a little bit detached from people and distance yourself so that they don't freaking use you all the time. Like detachment is essential for protection is what I've learned from them. And the question things. Anybody who's ever questioned me and questioned my beliefs and questioned my teachings has been a Virgo. A lot of other signs have, but like I just find this a reoccurring theme. Virgos always question everything because they don't take things for surface value. And it's tripped me up sometimes. They'll be like, oh, okay, so, but like, who came up with astrology? Where did astrology come from? How do people have the definitions from the signs and match it to the planets? How did that happen? Like, and I'm just like, whoa, 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 whoa. You're so right. Like, I don't know this. And it's like, sometimes it's okay to question a deeper meaning to the things around you. And yeah. Libras. From Libras, I've learned one of the most important things that have changed my mind about Libras. I used to think Libras were so fake and so annoying because, like, my mom, my brother, and my sister are Libras, and they have this super, super, like, kind of fake energy when they're meeting people. Well, my brother, not really. My brother's, like, all Virgo, so he's kind of just, like, dry or whatever. But, like, my sister and my mom both had this, like, fake energy when they were meeting someone that they'd be, like, super, super nice, and they have this high-pitched voice, and it's just like, hi, like, thank you, please, hi. And I'm just like, what are you doing? But it's almost like I found a deeper appreciation for Libras because they don't, they're very strong emotionally, and they don't like to, like, put their burdens on others. Like, whereas I'm someone, if I'm like not having a good day, like, I would take it out on people. Like, I would, like, not judge people, but, like, you can tell my body language and that I was just not having a good day. And then the next day I would show up and I'd be all happy and stuff, and then the next day, like, I'd be, like, mad or what. Like, you could just read my emotions. Whereas a Libra, like, they just always seem happy, they just always seem cheerful and stuff like that, and they always seem, like, at ease with the people, like, in harmony and balance with the, like, the people around them. And it's just like, yeah, like, I used to think of it that it was fake, but it's also, like, a huge lesson. Like, stop taking your feelings out on people. Like, stop projecting it. Like, not everyone needs to know that you're having a bad day. Like, it's okay to just be nice to people and, like, hide your pain so that they don't have to pick up on your suffering, or that they don't have to, like, read too deep into what you're feeling, or they don't have to adapt to you. Like, it's okay just to, like, be nice to people. It's okay to, like, be polite and have manners to people that you don't know. It's not fake, it's just kindness. And even though, like, that's why I say fake it till you make it, because I used to think it was, like, fake, but it's not. It's just, like, it's just them, like, kind of pretending that even no matter what emotional turmoils happen in their life, they're just so able to, like, bring cheer and happiness into other people's life and maintain their friendships. Whereas that was something that was very challenging for me, so I guess I envied it. But yeah, it's just like, you don't have to take out your problems on other people, and you don't have to show everyone that you're mad or sad or like, depressed. It doesn't matter. Like, just deal with your problems to yourself, or talk about it with your close friends and family, but you don't have to project that energy out to everybody. It's, like, not a necessity. Scorpios. I think Scorpios, I've learned a lot about through observing how Scorpios are in their relationships. I've learned, like, their romantic relationships, I've learned a lot about my love style. Because Scorpios love, like, dramatic, emotionally turbulent relationships and dramatic and emotionally turbulent partners. And, like, my Venus is in the 8th house of Scorpio. So through the way that they love their partner and the relationship that they're in, it kind of made me realize, it's like, oh, but I'm exactly like that. And it's something that I was, like, my Mars is in Sag and my Venus is in Aries. So for me, like, romantic relationships, like, fun, happy, like, no fights, like, let it go, like, don't possess me, don't do this. But it's like, if that person was trying to, like, run away from me, then I'd get, like, all scorpionic, and I'd just be like, you're mine, like, get jealous, get possessive, and all that stuff. But I just was so good at hiding it. And I realized that, like, to have, like, deep, close relationships and a deep, strong bond with someone, you need to be, like, emotionally raw with them, and you need to, like, let them into your life. Because if not, like, you're always just going to be dealing with superficial, unsatisfying relationships. Because if Scorpios have this, like, thing about them where it's like, if they can't obsess about you, if you're not the person that's on their mind, if you're not the person that, like, drives them a little bit crazy and insane and all of that stuff, they're not going to love you, because they associate love with obsession, or obsession with love. And if you look at it and their behaviors, it's like, for them to be passionate and go about something 100%, they have to, like, merge with it, whether it's career, whether it's their goals, whether it's their lover, their partner, whatever it is. It's like they have to kind of obsess about it in order to love it. And, like, I was just, like, analyzing all my friends that have, like, scorpionic placements, or Scorpio dominant, and that's kind of something that they have about them. And it's just very, like, it was very eye-opening when I realized that I associate obsession with love. And yeah, I think through them I also learned that you don't have to tell everybody about everything. Like, you can keep your secrets to yourself, you can keep your goals and plans to yourself, because people are energy vampires and you don't need to be open with everybody. Sometimes I can be very open. I'm being extremely open in this video now, but like more about like when I'm telling my plans about my future goals or my aspirations, I noticed that like you don't have to tell everybody. You can just like work behind the scenes and like get it yourself, just through observing their behavior. That's just something I've emulated and admired about Scorpios. Okay, Sagittarius. Simply through Sagittariuses, I think that the only thing I've really learned about them is that life's beautiful. It's like, it's just be happy, just like enjoy the fact that you're alive, like indulge in new experiences, indulge in travel, indulge in new foods and new people and socializing and having a great time. Like, not everything has to be taken seriously. I've learned through Sagittarius as well that love is fleeting. Love comes and goes. But like, appreciate the person that you're with, love the person that you're with, but you don't have to take relationships always so seriously and stuff like that. It's just like, sometimes it's okay just to have fun and enjoy the people that you're with, and just life is beautiful. Like, just the world's your oyster in a sense, and like you can go after anything that you want. And I think that was like a Sagittarius rising. I've learned that through a Sagittarius rising, that like the world is my oyster and I can go after anything that I want in my life. And that was a huge lesson that I've learned, I think. Capricorns. I've learned so much through Capricorns. It's insane. Seriously, I've learned so much through them, because I have like all of my close friends, and my sister's a Capricorn rising, my dad's a Mercury in Capricorn. Like, I have a few Capricorn moon friends. One of my best friends was a Capricorn sun, Capricorn moon, Capricorn Mercury. It's just like Capricorn out the ass. And I think these people have taught me a lot about reality in general, I would say, because they always bring me back down to earth when I'm like, ooh. But they've also been the most supportive people in my life. So I would say that they've taught me a lot about just being confident in like my creative works and my creative aspirations, because where I'm someone that's like, I can be insecure about the creativity that I put out into the world. But because Capricorns, I've noticed that not all of them are very, very creative people. So when I would tell my friends, my Capricorn friends and family members about like astrology, or tell them about like painting and jewelry making and stuff like that, they'd always be oddly supportive, like extremely supportive. You would think that they would kind of be like, oh, that's dumb, that's stupid, but no, they've always been the ones to support me the most and think that it's cool, and always just like appreciate what I have to offer in that creative sense. And it's always like taught me like, there's people that will appreciate your creativity, because if your friends and the people that love you appreciate it, and they're all like, they were all Capricorns and they all loved and appreciated everything, and they never judged me for any of that stuff. So it's kind of taught me like, just be confident, like be creative if you want to be creative, put what you want to do out there, and just express yourself, because there's people that are going to support you and there's people that are going to love you either way. Also, another thing that they've taught me is good things come to those who work hard, and like that someone always has it worse than you. For Capricorns, I've always like learned that someone has it worse than me, because Capricorns, like, they've always had a situation worse than me. And I realized this when I was sitting in the car with my friend, and she was like, oh my god, I have to, like, we were in high school at this time, we were like 17, 16. She was 17, I was 16. She's like, I have to pay my car insurance, I have to pay for gas, I have to do all of this stuff, and I'm just super stressed out, and I owe this person money because I had to pay for this. And I sat back and I was like, okay, I would hate to be in that situation. Like, I should just be grateful that I'm not in that situation. Like, the small things that I'm complaining about, like stupid crap that I complain about, I was like, this is like my friend, and she has to like work so hard to like pay for these things that like I am fortunate enough to just have because of like my parents and stuff like that. And it just made me feel like a spoiled brat. And it was just like, okay, like, someone has it worse than you, just be like grateful, just be appreciative that like you have these things. And they've always had, like, some of them have always had rougher emotional lives, or parents that were cruel towards them, and it just made me like realize that, like, just to be grateful in a sense. So yeah, and they've showed me a lot about, like, in that sense, like, good things come to those who work hard, because they made me realize how little self-control I have. Like, any Capricorn that I've known that's had like an addiction and stuff, which they kind of all had an addiction to something. It may not be drugs or alcohol, but they've all had an addiction. But when it comes to obtaining their goals, or if it's for work, like, they'll stop smoking weed, they'll stop using like nicotine, they'll stop doing this, and it's all like to get to their goal. You feel me? They'll stop going out and hanging out with their friends if they have work to do. Like, they will stay up late and like study and work hard to get that A. And it was just like, wow, like, why are they so good at like self-control? And it just made me realize that I don't have any self-control. That's it. It just taught me to work on my self-control. Aquariuses have taught me to be open-minded. Minded. Oh my God. They have taught me to be open-minded to learning. Okay, I could be very stubborn in like what I know, but every Aquarius has always hit me with some new shit. They've always taught me something new. They've always like taught me like a new perspective. Like, I am all spiritual and into astrology and stuff like that, and then I have a friend who's an Aquarius moon, and he's like Christian, so he's like telling me all these like Christian viewpoints and how like astrology is like satanic and stuff like that. And like, I never really took any of that into consideration in regards to the origins or what I'm practicing and stuff like that. And even though like I have my opinions on all of that stuff, which I'm not going to talk about right now, but like, it was just like cool to learn something new. You feel me? And like to be open to like conspiracy theories, and like just like let your mind absorb information and all the possibilities and stuff like that. Lastly, Pisces. It would probably be, this one's kind of sad. I mean, I'm a Pisces moon, but like, just through Pisces suns especially, I've learned, don't be desperate in relationships. My best friend had a boyfriend who was a Pisces moon, and he was so clingy and emotionally desperate, and it was kind of like cringy. And like, another friend was like very desperate and emotionally clingy in her relationships, and it was like just so cringy. And I was like, ugh. And we were all looking at these people, all these Pisces, like crying over their boyfriends or their girlfriends, and it was just like, ugh. Like, I do not want to be perceived like that. I don't ever want to like lose so much self-respect and so much self-worth and have no boundaries that I don't know like when to stop chasing someone or when to like let stuff go. And like, I never wanted to look like that. So it was like, never be desperate in relationships. If you mess up, admit that you mess up and let it go and move on and just be honest. And if someone messes up and hurts you, like, don't wear your heart on your sleeve and show everyone your pain and like try to fix relationships that can't be fixed and stuff. Like, just let it go. Like, it's not worth it. Have self-respect, have boundaries when it comes to love, and don't ever 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 cry about someone who doesn't deserve you. Anyways, so I think that's everything. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later. Bye. Oh, emails for chart readings, DM for chart readings, Instagram, Twitter, email, whatever. It's all in the description box. Peace.